But I have several because they are going to acknowledge my son. They are going to recognize my son. They are going to say my son's name. They will say my son's name. Again, my name is Monteria Robinson. I am the mother of Jamarian Robinson. Who was Jamarian Robinson? Jamarian Robinson was a student athlete at Tuskegee University at the time of his death. He was a science major. And you ask me if I'm angry, I've been out here 4 years trying to get justice, waiting on Fulton County DA to hold these road officers accountable for my son's death. On August the 5th, he was visiting his friend when approximately about 1:30 p.m., her door was battle rammed open by 17 road police officers from Fulton County to Atlanta to Fayette County to Eastport to U.S. Marshal Services with no search warrant. Over 90 rounds were fired at my son. To be exact, 110 rounds were fired at him. They threw flashbang grenades that landed on him, burning him. After that, someone walked up the stairs, stood over my son, and shot down into his body. After that, he was handcuffed and drugged down a flight of stairs. Why am I still here 4 years later? Why?
Tell him, Montero. Tell him, Montero.
I am angry.
Yeah.
I can't even sleep at night. I can't even sleep at night. For those of you who know me, I be on social media at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. every night because I can't sleep.
We always say in the Black Panther Party that they can do anything they want to us. We might not be back. I might be in jail. I might be anywhere. But when I leave, you can remember I said with the last words on my lips that I am a revolutionary.
These are the voices of New Africa. These are the voices of New Africa. These are the voices of New Africa. Free in the land, and we ain't asking y'all.
Welcome, y'all, to the Voices of New Africa, the show where we educate the uneducated and re-educate the miseducated. I'm your host, Brother Prophecy, and you was just listening to a clip by one of the many mothers who are suffering and going through the hardship of living, losing their sons to this violent system of oppression, exploitation, and white supremacy. Just wanted to set that up because actually I had to play some in order to give my system time to load. But yeah, I'm by myself again, and we are, gonna do this thing, and it might be kind of inconsistent, like I said, for the next few weeks because people's schedules are kind of up and down and going through a few different things, trying to get this shadow out of everything. Yeah. So it might be somewhat inconsistent for a while until everybody get their schedule where it needs to be. But regardless to who we have here or what we have, because some days I might not be here, it might be other comrades, and whatever the case may be, we're still going to bring this content to you because we are dedicated to the liberation of New African people. We're part of something called the New African Independence Movement, the Republic of New Africa. And we struggle for land, independence, self-determination, reparations, and the establishment of an economic system that ain't based on the exploitation of man by man. And that's very important, y'all, very important. So everybody out there, everybody listening to this, give me a comment. You know what I'm saying? Let me know you're out there. Let me know who out there. Share this, let everybody know what's going on. Because we, like I said, we try to do this every week. Man, unfortunately, my computer crashed on me, which kind of sucks because that means I wasn't able to do a lot of the research that I wanted for this show, and I'm not able to share and do a lot of the things that I'm normally able to do. So I apologize for that. So it might be kind of rough today, but either way, we're gonna get through it and we're gonna make it happen. We're gonna make it happen. So yeah, like I said, thank everybody for joining us. Give us a like, share this, let everybody out there know that we're up there trying to build, we're trying to educate, and we're trying to actually ultimately create a better world. Because something I say all the time, is this the best we can do? Is the best we can do is to create a system that preys on the most vulnerable of our people. Is the best we can do is to create a system that exploits the people, the masses of people, for the benefit of a handful full of individuals. Is that the best we can do? Freeland, I am my will, Comrade Ativa. I see you checking in there. How you doing, brother? Appreciate you doing what you do. So yeah, you know, and everybody else out there, can drop us a line. Let me know who I'm talking to, and share this. Let everybody know, you know, what we're trying to do here. But like I said, you know, we're trying to create a better world because we can do better than what we are doing. We have to do better. We are better than this. We are better than the exploitation of the masses. We're better than producing a society that preys on the masses. We're better than feeding the masses people food that creates more and more disease and then sending them to a medical institution that profits off of their pain, which all they do is prescribe more medication that has side effects that make you sicker, and you got to get medication for the side effects of that medication, and it's a never-ending cycle. We're better than a society like that. We can do better. We've reached a level of economic, not as just economic, but technological advancement that we can use this technology to benefit man, not simply profit and exploit man. But in order to do better, we have to understand, we have to do proper analysis. We have to do a proper analysis. We can't just be emotional in our approach. We can't just go out and be like, oh man, things messed up because we just something wrong with us. We look out into our community and we see the devastating things. We see the self-destructive behavior. We see the violence. We see the poverty. We see the ignorance. We see all of these negative things in our community. Well, in order to approach that properly, in order to respond properly to our conditions, in order to solve these problems, we have to have a correct analysis of it. We have to define the problem correctly. We can't simply have an emotional approach to the problems of our community. Like we're quick to say, well, what about black on black violence? What about black on black crime? You know, and first of all, you know, that whole term, black on black crime or black on black violence, that's a political term. It's used to distract. Sorry, Brother Fadali. Brother Fadali calls me right about now. I can't answer the phone because I'm live. Is used to distract or take attention away from the critiques of a system of white supremacy. See, when people say, well, what about black on black violence? Usually it's in response to a conversation about police brutality or white supremacy. Police has just murdered one of our people, and we're putting the system on blast, and we're demanding the system to be held accountable for the murder of our people. Well, the opposition always says, well, what about black on black violence? And they use that as a counterpoint. See, the people who usually talk about black on black violence are not really concerned with violence within our community. They're usually concerned about deflecting attention away from the system of white supremacy. But the reality of the situation is, whether you're talking about violence in our community by ourselves, what people refer to as black on black violence, or you're talking about police brutality, or many of the other manifestations of white supremacy, it all stems from the same source. It all comes from the same place. It all comes from the same reality that we have been under a system for over 400 years that is based on the oppression and exploitation of our people. That we have been under a system that has told us that we are less than nothing, that we are not worthy, that we don't matter. So, brothers and sisters, like I said, it is imperative that we have a proper analysis of objective reality, concrete analysis of concrete conditions, because that's the only way we can truly solve the problem. Because first of all, we got to identify the problem correctly. Because if you're trying to solve the wrong problem, then you ain't gonna solve the problem. You know what I'm saying? You might solve a problem, but you're not gonna solve the problem. So we have to be correct in our analysis. Oh, I see some people checking in. Melly Queen, Miss Military, I see you in here. You don't look like you in Facebook. I mean, in Facebook jail right now. So yeah, we want to like to thank one of our political prisoners who made it home. Melly Queen made it out of Facebook jail. Yeah, free the land, y'all. Free them all. Free them all. Brother Joe Gonzalez, good day, revolutionary. Greetings, comrade. Joe Gonzalez, how you doing? You know what? I'm gonna reach out to you today about something. Today. Let me put that down. Holler at Mr. Joe Gonzalez. No doubt. Justice Jones, Sally, how you doing, Justice Jones? How you doing, brother? Good seeing you back on the call. Let me see anybody else up here that I'm missing. Christopher Godfrey, love the show. Free the land. Shout out to you, Prophecy, out of Dothan, Alabama. Okay, you in the national territory too, brother Christopher Godfrey. Good to see you too. Free the land by any means necessary. I am my will, and all of those good salutations to all of y'all. So yeah, definitely thank everybody for checking in. And we can get together, have a lively conversation. And we can do the thing. Yeah, let's get into it. So, well, I want to start this past Thursday. A lot of people celebrated, Thanksgiving holiday, or probably ate way too much. But I mean, and lots been said about. Well, I'll say this, Kyrie Irving. I'll do it like this. Kyrie Irving, I think he had a game on holiday, on Thanksgiving, and they interviewed him, and they said, "Hey, what does Thanksgiving mean to you?" Now, personally, honestly, after everything they put their brother through, if they ask me what does Thanksgiving mean to me, I'm gonna light into their ass. I ain't even gonna lie. I will light into their ass. But he was humble and he was cool. He was like, yeah, well, actually, it's not a holiday for me. It's not a holiday for me. That's not, how I get down. But a lot of people get together with their families on this day, and I think that's a wonderful thing. So, shouts out to all the families. Make sure y'all give everybody love and all those type of things. But it's not a holiday for me. And I thought he handled that really humbly. That was really humble of him. Because if you've been under a rock and you haven't heard what that brother been going through, which is crazy, but that brother was suspended, had to pay $500,000, had to meet with Jewish leaders and be lectured, had to take sensitivity training, had to come back and display that he's learned his lesson to the owner of his team, had to do all of that for simply sharing a post. So all he did, share the post. People didn't like the particular post, even though it was just something that was sold on Amazon. They didn't suspend Amazon. Amazon did get in trouble for making money off of the thing that offended them, but Kyrie Irving did. And they basically went him through, took him through the nigger bend over and prove that you are wrong and apologize and completely submit to us for offending us. So after everything he did, I thought he handled himself in a very humble way. Because initially when he was interviewed about the post he shared, he said, well, he wasn't trying to offend anyone or hurt anyone, but I'm a black man in America, basically. So I want y'all to keep that same energy when other things come up that are offensive to people. keep that same energy. Because when they, went and asked him about Thanksgiving, if they would have asked me, if I was him, I would have been like, yo, you need to keep that same energy. Because while you up there asking me about how do I feel, what does Thanksgiving mean to me, I tell you what it means to me. It means the genocide of the indigenous people of this planet. Almost 98% of the indigenous population was wiped out, murdered, devastated. And we talk about offending Jewish people. Well, what about when you offend other people? Every Thanksgiving, the very holiday itself, is offensive to people. So keep that same energy. Why don't y'all apologize? Why don't y'all donate $500,000 to indigenous people on Thanksgiving? Why don't y'all meet and have sensitivity training about y'all Thanksgiving? But that's how I would have handled it. You know what I'm saying? But that's me. I'm not as humble as that brother. Well, what y'all think? Who is this brother? Hasilda Usi Simba. How you doing? How you doing? This is my first time ever hearing from you. Good to hear from you. I see Stephen Biko back in the house. How you doing, brother Stephen Biko? Definitely. Thank everybody for sharing this. Make sure y'all give us some likes and get the word out. Let everybody know what we're doing. We're trying to educate the uneducated and re-educate the miseducated. Well, I appreciate your comments and all of those good things. But yeah, so that was just interesting. Like I said, he said keep that energy going. So, I mean, the whole holiday of Thanksgiving is offensive, especially when you take into account the type of stories and lies that they try to tell us. Tell us that, Thanksgiving is about the time when the Pilgrims and the indigenous people, the Indians, which are not Indians, but the so-called Indians got together and they had a big kumbaya party because they were able to survive through the winter because we raised these crops and we had a good old Thanksgiving dinner. Hallelujah. When you look at the type of lies that they spread and they teach us, and you look at the reality, contrast that with the reality, yeah, that's very, very, very offensive. The holiday is extremely offensive. Now, don't get me wrong. I've said this and I will continue to say this. I'm not in any form saying don't go visit your family. I'm not saying it at all. Matter of fact, I think you should visit your family. I think you should visit your family as much as possible because the foundation of our nation is the family. So I'm not saying don't visit your family. I visited mine. Any chance that I get to visit my family, I do. Man, matter of fact, one thing we talked about was like, hey, y'all, we supposed to be like meeting at least once a month to go out and just hang out, What happened to that? So Lisa and Tony, hey, you need to get back on that. But definitely, definitely keep that same energy up. I think we should use these holidays as an opportunity to, I call it Happy New African Family Day. That's what's up. That's what's up. I always think that's a good idea. When you take these holidays that are negative and have these negative connotations, especially to us, to use it as an educational tool and flip them and maybe create a different tradition, a different, custom, and do something that benefits our people, benefits our struggle, benefits us collectively. I think that's wise. That's wise because I know once upon a time I would just, get in the corner and be mad all day. Fuck Thanksgiving. Goddamn Thanksgiving. Christmas came. Fuck Christmas. Goddamn Christmas. All the holidays I was the same way. And I was like, damn, I ain't accomplishing nothing right now. Let me change things. You know, maybe I can educate. Maybe I can use this as an opportunity to educate some people. Maybe we can gain momentum for our movement. Maybe we can encourage people to do something that's actually positive. I always think that's a wiser use of our time and our energy and our efforts, you know. But whatever the situation is, you know, we definitely need to understand the truth behind, you know, what we're doing, what we're celebrating. So we'll know and we can be sensitive how other people may feel, you know, about it. Which leads me to, you know, something I kind of wanted to talk about. You know, we are officially into the so-called holiday season. Hold on, what Melly Queen say? Well, I'm gonna go into some comments before I get into whatever I was about to say. Let me see, Melly Queen, aka Military, exactly, because building family structure is very important for nation building. We should not be spending all our monies on those days. Just get with family, eat and fellowship with one another. So that's what's up, y'all. You know, like I said, I think we should definitely be flipping these holidays and using them for things that actually benefit us. I think education is very important. You know, it's a perfect, Thanksgiving is a perfect time to educate our people about the true nature of the system. You know, the system ain't about, you know, love it's about exploitation. And the reason why genocide was committed on the indigenous people of this land is because they wanted the land. Because land is the foundation of freedom. 98% of the indigenous population murdered. Why? Because they wanted the land. That is why we say free the land. Because we have to have land. If we are serious about gaining freedom, about gaining independence, we have to have land. Our struggle is for land. Our struggle is not to have people say, oh, I like you, I love you, I'm gonna treat you fairly. No. The struggle is to get your own, to control your own. So it does not matter if somebody like you or not. They no longer have the power to inflict their feelings and their emotions and how they think about you on you. They don't have the power to control your lives and your destiny. So you're damn right. I feel you on that. Let me go to some more comments. We have our Vice President, Mama Ayo Deli. We gather to give thanks, not to celebrate the massacres of the indigenous who showed compassion, made justice reign upon their lies and deceptions. Exactly. Definitely, you know. And just be clear, you know, when you're seeing your family going out to do your thing, we're not doing that in celebration of the massacres of the indigenous people. By no means. You know, we sympathize with them. We relate to them. We have the same struggle. The same struggle. There are massacres after massacres after massacres after massacres after massacres. And unfortunately, it's only the massacre of the Jews that when you say something about it, it offends people. But you can talk about the massacre of indigenous people all day. No, we can celebrate it. We can have plays about it with inaccurate history. Imagine if somebody had a holiday and they said, well, you know what? We're going to celebrate when the Jewish people and the Nazis got together and had a good old party. We had fun and we loved each other. We sung songs and we grew wheatgrass. And I know they didn't have that. That was so random, wheatgrass. But let's imagine how offensive that would be to people. And when you went to school, they actually taught that. They pushed that story. Imagine how crazy that would be. Hey, those type of things actually happen. Those type of things are actually happening right now. There are so many things that are just weaved into society that is offensive to melanated people. You don't even think nothing of it. Think nothing of it. Let me see. Brother Joe Gonzalez. He said, yesterday I was asked to do security for toy drive and car show. Although I can't celebrate colonized holiday, I do have compassion for the children and communities in general. That makes sense. Completely. Completely. And I think we always have to have a measured, a logical, analytical, and strategic approach to everything we do. Because a lot of time, on the other hand of all this, because I know I've been just, going on a little rampage, a tangent about, these holidays. But I do believe that our response needs to be analytical and not necessarily emotional. Because a lot of times, we put too much stock into emotional responses. You have some people's like, oh, don't go see your family. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do nothing on Thanksgiving. Just walk around mad. Be pissed at the world. If that's what you want to do, more power to you. But it ain't gonna change anything. It's not gonna change anything. It's not gonna change any concrete conditions. I always say that if we really want to do something, then collectively we need to get together and have a collective action that has a target result that we're trying to actually accomplish something with, and we're not just simply doing something out of our emotions because we're mad. Because what would happen is you will end up hurting the wrong people. Because when I first came into consciousness and stopped celebrating Thanksgiving, I stopped seeing my family and I stopped doing these type of things. And I just be mad on Thanksgiving. And I realized I was hurting my family. I was hurting myself. And as years go by and my daddy passed away, my brother passed away, my mother passed away, I'm like, damn, what the hell am I doing? I ain't hurting a white man, I'm hurting myself. So I'm with you with that, Brother Gonzalez. I don't celebrate these colonized holidays either, but I do have compassion for children and communities in general. So yeah, I'm with you on that. You see, Stephen Biko says that day itself was created by them. As oppressed people, we don't celebrate our oppressors' holiday. Definitely. Quick reminder, save the date, March 31st to April 2nd, 2022, New African Nation Day. We will be celebrating in Charlotte, South Carolina, 55 years on the road to a plebiscite. Free the land, definitely. You have an opportunity to meet us down there at Nation Day. Man, let's go for it, man. We're going to have a good old time, have an opportunity to meet, greet, strategize, make connections, and man, really just continue this work on trying to create a better world. Because ultimately, that's what we're trying to do. That's what we're trying to do. Freedom Power, how you doing? Always good to see my guy, Freedom Power. Freedom Power, you one of my favorite people on Facebook. I ain't gonna lie, because you so active and you always, man, you ain't giving them a break, bro. You're like, you don't take a break. You own it. Oh, you got your foot on their neck 24 hours. So it's always good to hear from my brother, Freedom Power. And the Jews wouldn't compromise with a holiday that celebrated their Holocaust. The question is, why do we? Man, that's a very good question. I can't argue with that. The Jews sure as hell would not. You say anything about celebrating the Holocaust, oh hell no. Hell no. They finna tear some stuff up. They finna do it. let's see, Melly Queen. National and local New African elections coming up November 2023. Visit our website at PGRNA. Remember, at pg-rna.com for more information or message me. That's Melly Queen. Yeah, we have elections. One of the few elections that I actually participate in. Speaking of election, I think Kanye West just said he's gonna run for president, and if I'm not mistaken, he asked Donald Trump to be his running mate. I don't think that really worked out too well for him. I don't know the details of it, but it's just something, I heard, and I'm like, okay, here we go with this. Here we go with this. I don't even know why I mentioned that. It just kind of came to my mind. Brother Stephen Biko, do you think that they would allow us to create a holiday that celebrates Hannibal's defeat of them? Do you think that they would take part in such a holiday? Of course they won't. Of course they won't. But that brings us back to the purpose why we're here. Because the reality is we're engaged in a new African independence movement. Because if you were truly free, they wouldn't have to allow you to celebrate any damn thing that you wanted to celebrate. It's only because we are not free. It is because we are captive colonial subjects under this United States empire that we gotta beg and ask people, hey, can we have a Martin Luther King holiday, please, sir? Please. He was the uniter. He was nonviolent. He said, turn the other cheek while you hit him in the head with bricks. Can we at least celebrate him? Okay. So, ultimately, when we gain true freedom, we ain't got to ask nobody nothing. We rearrange this whole thing because your holidays is something that reinforces your culture. It reinforces your values. It reinforces your struggle. That's why Kwanzaa is so very important. I can't stress enough about how important Kwanzaa is. And I know there's some people out there be like, well, the founder Karina, he was blah, blah, he was this. Man, I understand that, but look here, y'all. You have to build upon the things that are culturally relevant and things that is going to help put us in the right mind frame so we can have the right type of actions that will lead to the liberation of our people. And that's kind of what holidays are supposed to do. But the holidays in which we celebrate are the holidays that are put before us to celebrate were put before us by the colonizer. They were created by the colonizers. So they're not designed to help us go to our liberation, to reinforce liberation values, our revolutionary values that we need to take down this system of oppression and exploitation. Instead, think about it. The holidays that they have, they reinforce the exploitation. They reinforce the oppression. We just talked about Thanksgiving, the celebrate of genocide of indigenous people. We talked about that. Now we into that Christmas season. And what do they say? Oh, it's the Christmas season. Come out to the stores, spend all your damn money, even though you can't afford it. Go damn broke. Because it's the spirit of giving, but really it's the spirit of buying. That's what it is. Because we are under an exploitive system called capitalism. So it is encouraged. The holidays is biggest holiday, the biggest holiday of the year, the big one, is all about capitalism. It's about spending as much money as you can. That's what you got to do. You got to spend as much money as you can. Most corporations, they make it or break it during this time of year. Make it and break it, make it or break it during this time of year. And be clear, this holiday, this Christmas holiday, and I know a T would be like, man, don't be getting on them Christians like that. Don't do it. So I ain't going to I'm gonna do a little something. I can't help myself. I'm by myself. Ain't nobody here to stop me. But I wasn't making fun of you or T, I just remember, dang, that was a messed up voice I did for a T. That ain't how T would talk. But this Christmas holiday you talk about, yeah, I know you say this is the birthday of Jesus and Christ and all of this type of stuff. No, it ain't. It ain't got nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with it whatsoever. You are celebrating the winter solstice. That's what you're celebrating. You know, honestly, ain't nothing wrong with that. If you want to celebrate that, it is. But don't think it's a religious thing. That's the rule. You know what I'm saying? Now, if I really wanted to break down what Christmas really means, it might hurt a lot of Christians' feelings. You know, I guess I can break it down in a way where, you know, it wouldn't hurt your feelings, but I don't like sugarcoat things. Because when you understand where Christmas actually comes from, then you actually start understanding, well, a lot of things in the Christian religion come from. Actually, you understand where the Christian religion comes from in general, period. If you would really want to break it down, you know, because be honest, Christianity is a religion that was basically stolen from Africa, from religions and belief systems that was much older than it. I don't know, maybe one day I'll do that. Maybe one day I'll do that subject. But, you know, my whole point about it all was that this holiday that you celebrate, that you claim is a religious holiday, is not about Jesus. It's not about Christ, the birth of any of, it ain't about none of that. It's not about none of that. No, it's not. It's about capitalist greed. It's about spending money. It's about maintaining a system that is based on the exploitation of the masses. That's why you get all the Christmas shows and the news start reporting live from the malls, and they talk about what people are really spending this year is going to be a great Christmas, because they understand that this is how this system works. This is how this system works. And the holidays that are here that we celebrate on these Christmas, I mean, the sentiment is beautiful. You know, I think the sentiment is beautiful. Spirit of giving and all of those good things, those are beautiful, you know, things. Now you can get great things out of it. You know, you can pull positive things out of it because they're positive and negative in all things, you know, but I always say that, you know, anything you do, it should work toward the upliftment of yourself, your family, your community, your race, your nation, not the opposite way. So, you know, I would encourage people, instead of spending all your money on Christmas, let's do something different. Let's do something else. Let's invest our money on something that is going to benefit our families, our community, our nation, our race. Just think about it. If everybody who was celebrating Christmas, and I don't have the numbers, somebody look up the numbers, you know, how much money do Black people spend on Christmas every year? But just think about that. If we took that money and we say, we're going to create, pick something, a bank, school, some type of institution that we can collectively benefit from. If we just took the money we spent on Christmas, what type of institutions could we bring about? A hospital, you know, some kind of medical institution that is not based on keeping you sick because they can keep the money rolling in. Provide information about true health. That's the other thing that's really important around this time of year, because the holidays, we just eat all kind of stuff, and there is a direct connection with how we eat in our overall health. That's reality. Hopefully everybody know that. If you don't, yeah, you got to catch up. And we are trained and conditioned to eat horribly, especially in the Black communities. Access to healthy food, that kind of gets difficult. Especially when you go to the stores, the cheapest foods out there are the foods that's most devastating to us. So all of these things connect, and all of these things lead to feeding a system that exploits us. But man, we got a lot of good discussions going on. Let me get this. I see you, Susan Rogers. Hey everybody, free to land to you, Miss Susan Rogers. Good to see you checking in. See what we got right here. Oh, this is long. Anti-capitalist Thanksgiving. Sparks, man, I gotta crack. Start the beginning of the season of capitalist psychosis, where poor people are psychologically induced to go into debt by useless cheap gifts that feel an emotional attachment to the oppressor's social and economic system. Stockholm syndrome. Oh, that was well said, brother. Freedom Power. That was well said, brother. And you are absolutely right. And an interesting word you put, a capitalist psychosis. And the psychosis is a break from reality, meaning you're not seeing things as they actually are. And that's really what it is, because, they have this fog of illusion of this world where, this is about love, and you have to express your love by buying the new Xbox, by buying the new $500 phone that has the internet and everything connected to it. That's how you have to express your love. And if you don't buy all of these things, then you don't love your children. You don't love your children. When maybe you just need to spend more time with them. Maybe we should work on making memories, not items. Experiences, not things. Thanks for that comment, brother. Let me see, Comrade Atiba. What are our king disciples as New African people? The Nguzo Saba, the New African Creed, the New African Pledge, the New African 12 Commandments of Consciousness. Definitely. I started talking about Kwanzaa. I started talking about Kwanzaa and how important things like that are. If you just analyze the Nguzo Saba, analyze the problems in our community. You ain't even got to get deep with it. Just the obvious things. Look at the problems in our community that everybody knows. The most unconscious person can look and see because it's that clear. You know what I'm saying? Just off the top of my head. Crime, poverty, lack of unity, lack of distrust, lack of not working together. All of these things. We talk about it all the time. We talk about it all the time. Any show that deals with Black people talks about these things in one way or the other. Just some people analyze the problem and how it came into existence and talk about solving it. And so other people just complain about it. We can't never stick together. We always fighting each other. We all, But I say that. Now go to Kwanzaa. Every day is a different principle. Every day is a different principle. What are these principles? Umoja, unity. And once upon a time, I could quote everything about them. I can't do that now, so I'm not even going to try, because eventually it'll come to one and I'm going to mess it up. So I ain't even going to start that. But it basically talks about unity. Major problem within our community. But there is a holiday that focuses on unity, because that is the job of your holidays. It should reinforce those principles and values that are needed in your community in order to elevate your community, in order to sustain your community. And our community is in desperate need of liberation, of true freedom. And the first principle in Kwanzaa is unity. And everybody knows that's something that is desperately needed. in our community. The second one, Kuji Chakalia, self-determination. Self-determination. Now, there are some critiques of Kwanzaa on this because they say, and they actually accurately so, that the definition of self-determination has changed within Kwanzaa. It's been watered down, and that is correct. They're absolutely correct about that. You know, in Kwanzaa, it talks about speaking for ourselves, naming ourselves, making decisions for ourselves. Like I said, I ain't gonna try to quote it what it is because I used to do it, but that's kind of a watered down definition of what Kwanzaa or self-determination actually is. Even though it is needed, it is important. We do need to name for ourselves, create for ourselves, speak for ourselves, instead of having others speak for us and create for us and make decisions for us and all of these types of things. We definitely need that. But actually what self-determination means is all about nationhood, about the right to build a nation for yourself. That's what self-determination is really all about. So, you know, I don't think the fact that that has been watered down in the mainstream definition of Kwanzaa is something that we should just say, well, we just need to abandon the whole thing. No, definitely. Art of War, Sun Tzu said it's best to build upon what is already there instead of destroying and trying to create something new. So we see that contradiction. We see that inconsistency. We see where that part is being watered down. Well, hey, we can correct it. Take some of that water out of it so it's not diluted. Make it what it is. But self-determination, we definitely need self-determination because ultimately, when you look into our community, our economic system, political system, social system, justice system, educational system, all of the systems that govern our lives are controlled by individuals who benefit from our exploitation. And anytime that reality exists, it's going to be damn near impossible for you to create a better situation for yourself. So therefore, we need control of all of the resources, the systems, the institutions, and all of those things that govern our lives. That should be our struggle. That is self-determination. And even if we just go to the watered down definition of it, we need to be able to decide for ourselves what struggle, which direction we're going to go in. Who are we going to support? Who are we not going to support? What holidays we celebrate and what holidays we don't celebrate. We need to speak for ourselves. We need to name ourselves. That's why we call ourselves New Africans. Not African Americans, not Negroes, not whatever. But that's the second principle of Kwanzaa, y'all. That's just the second one. Think about that. You went 2 days in Kwanzaa and you already dealing with unity. You naming our people and having self-determination for our people. Then there's 2 days. And we can keep on going. Ujima, collective work and responsibility. You get the thing, collective working together, solving our problems together. Like looking at my brother's problem, like my brother's problem is my problem. My problem is my brother's problem. So anytime we have a problem, we jump on that thing and we solve them. Anytime there's something to do, we collectively get it done. Ujima, cooperative economics. Using our economics, creating a circulation of wealth, supporting our businesses, creating our own banks, our own system, which ties right back into self-determination. Because like I said, one of the biggest problems we look at in our community is poverty, lack of resources. And poverty, lack of resources leads to crime. Seem like, you know, our answers to somebody who has actually been thinking about solutions to our problems. That's a number 4. You know, I know probably in a lot of our shows, we're gonna probably do special shows just about, you know, all of the principles, especially during Kwanzaa time. But let me say this, Kwanzaa was never meant to simply be celebrated during, the last week in December after Christmas. These principles are something that we have to implement every day. We need to have a Kwanzaa 365 campaign because these principles are so crucial and vital to our liberation. If we can cut out all of this negative propaganda, the things that have been put before us by the colonizers, that influences us, that brainwashes us, that puts us in a mindset that causes us to behave in a way that is counterproductive, counter-revolutionary. If we can put aside all of those negative things and focus on those things that will build us up, like rappers, stop talking about killing each other. Stop talking about disrespecting women. Stop talking about how much money you got and everything that you're going to buy. Think about it. If it was cool to rap about unity, about self-determination, about cooperative economics, collective work and responsibility, about using our creativity, our kuumba, in order to make the world a better place, to make our community a better place. Because right now, kuumba, which means creativity, that's used to attack us. That's used to spread propaganda of white supremacy. Because when you turn on the radio, listen to the rap songs and the rap videos and all of this type of stuff, you're listening to white supremacy. I know it's a black person saying it and all this type of stuff. You think it's a black thing, that is white supremacy. That is white supremacy that you are hearing. Matter of fact, it's the most effective form of white supremacy because it's coming from a black face. That's why you have to understand what white supremacy is. White supremacy is not just some ideology of the superiority of white people. White supremacy is a system, y'all. It is a system. And because it is a system, we can spread it. In fact, if every white person in America died, just disappeared, was vaporized, that'd be something, wouldn't it? But anyway, but if that happened, then this system of white supremacy would still be carried on because we would carry it on. Because we have been so indoctrinated into this system of white supremacy that we pass it on to our children. We sing about it in our songs. We dance to it. We make love to it. We've been heavily indoctrinated into it. And we pass it on and we carry it on. That's why when Barack Obama was president, people were like saying, yeah, racism is dead. I'm like, dude, you don't understand how racism works, do you? You don't understand how white supremacy works, do it? White supremacy ain't got nothing to do with some white people not liking you. It don't. White supremacy is a system designed to gain and maintain the masses of the world's land, resources, labor by a hand of minority white people. Not even all white people, but a minority within a minority. Because understand, white people are a global minority. I know we walk around and we say we're minorities in America and stuff like that, but we have to think, have to understand that we are a global people. And globally, we outnumber them 10 to 1, at least 10 to 1. It's probably more now because our population is growing and their population is at 0. That's the whole reason behind this population control type thing. That's the reason why they had this abortion law just passed, because white women are having abortions and they want them babies because their populations are going down, down, down. In less than 25 years, white people will be a minority in America. Look it up, y'all. Now, what does that mean to a person who has been oppressing Black and brown people for centuries? Let's think about it. Your wealth, your privilege, your resources, all of this came at the oppression of Black and brown people for centuries. And you look up and you see, man, it's a lot more Black and brown people. Man, in a minute, they're going to be more Black and brown people than it's going to be me. So that's why you got to be careful. You know what I'm saying? That's why, I was like, when I was looking at Wakanda Forever, I was like, hold on, dude. Why you got Black and brown people fighting? Hold on, bro. I'm thinking about like maybe they got something to do with a fear that black and brown people uniting. Then it's like a checkmate on your ass. Gotta think about this type of stuff, y'all. Oh yeah. Man, y'all been blowing us up. Up here got a whole bunch of comments. I'm sorry, I've been neglected, y'all. I've been just talking. Let me see what else. Comrade Atiba, that's why you getting off, cause I'm not live with you. I don't know what you just said, comrade. I don't even know. Oh, you was talking about me. Oh, okay. I get you now. Let me see. Let's see, Melly Queen. They have a holiday every month, and they start at the beginning of the month selling mess and go through the whole month, and there comes the next one. That's right. It's the system. Their system works well. It works well, and it's all designed basically to maintain their system. And we have to understand, because like a lot of people always say, the system is broke. We have to fix the system. We have to reform the system. No, 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 no. The system is not broke. The system is working perfectly the way they designed it to work. Problem is, we don't understand how the system was designed. It don't work for us because it was never created to work for us. It's not supposed to work for us. It was created to exploit us. And that's what it does. So that's why, that's why when you see our people exploited and oppressed and facing injustices, we get mad at the system, but you got to understand, that's how the system was created. That's how it was designed. It evolved out of the exploitation of our people. So ain't no need of trying to reform something like that. We got to get rid of it. We got to set up something that we own, that we control, and it's not based on their system. Because we talk about getting land independence, self-determination, self-government, all of these things. But if we get it and we adopt their same system, you're going to get the same results. We're going to trade in a white slave owner, a white oppressor, a white colonizer for a black one. And I'm not interested in that. And I hope you're not either. If you ain't, if that's what you're trying to do, then, you might as well just go on, do something else. This ain't what we about. We have Madam Vice President on the line with the illusion of giving and brotherhood and love is real or part of the matrix. That's correct. That's heavy. That is heavy. Because part of this whole illusion of brotherhood, of Thanksgiving, of Christmas, the spirit of giving, all of these things that they say that it's about, it's not. It is not. This is, who's up, brother? El Abdul Muhammad. Hey, brother, how you doing? I think this might be my first time seeing from you. Let me see. No other peoples spend money like black people in the trillions, yet we have nothing to sustain, nothing of substance to show for it. And that's it in a nutshell. That's it in a nutshell. We spend money in the trillions. If you just took the money in which we spend every year and we just united as a nation and only spent our money with each other, we would be like in the top 10 richest nations in the world. I don't know exactly where we would stand right now because the money has increased so much. It was 9, but it's probably like 8 or 7 now. But thank you for that comment, Brother El Abdul. You are absolutely correct. And see, that one act will have them oppressors shook. And you are damn right. You damn right on that. Because anything, we go back when I was talking about Kwanzaa. Principle number 4, Ujima, not Ujima. Ujima is collective working responsibility. Ujima, collective cooperative economics. taking them trillions of dollars. So instead of having those trillions of dollars going right out of our community, feeding our oppressors, sending our oppressors school or teachers to school, what if we kept that money within our community and used that money to build up and fund our institutions instead of using that money to fund our demise in our oppressor? Just think about what we could do, what we could create, what we could build, what we could be. This is the power of holidays. This is the power of culture, because your culture is one of the biggest determining factors of human behavior. Your culture tells you, what you should support. Your culture tells you what's important. Your culture tells you how do you respond to things. And our culture is something that has been created really under a system of oppression and designed to maintain the oppression and not to raise us out of this oppression. That's because the means of production and the industry and all of these things that influence us are controlled by the oppressor. The entertainment industry, the media, the educational systems, all of these things are controlled by the colonizer. They're controlled by the oppressor. So when you turn on the radio, you see these people, the $1 million Negroes, who are all in the fancy clothes that they put before us to say, this is who you need to admire, this is who you need to celebrate, this is who you need to try to be like. You see them say, I got this, I got that, so much money on my back. You know what I'm saying? And you say, whoa, that's so cool. I need to go out and get this. I need to get that. I need to buy this. I need to make this money. I need to buy a gun called my op. I hate that term, the op, because we utilize it to talk about other Black people. For a Black man, the op is another Black man who is just like them, who looks really close to they look, who dress just like them, who talk just like them, who walks just like them. It's like we have created words to define the enemy who is just like you. Because when they talk about the op in all these songs, they ain't talking about the police. They're not talking about that white politician that is creating laws that are oppressing you. They're not talking about any of these people who are benefiting from your exploitation. They're talking about people who look just like us. And that is the problem, what we're talking about. There's been a culture that has been pushed upon our people that is destructive to our people. And we got to take our culture back. We have to create our culture. We have to push those things that are going to lead to the liberation of our people, not the degradation and the destruction of our people. Freedom Power, you said something great just now. I'm going to say it. You said, preach, brother, prophecy. I don't even know what I was saying, but I'm glad you co-signed for what I'm saying. Love it when y'all agree with me. I'm messing with y'all. You see, there are 7 principles in Nguzo Saba. That's right. That's right. Let me see. How many did I go? I missed Nia, purpose. Understand purpose. And what else did I miss? The last one is Imani, faith. I think I rearranged them. I didn't get that in the correct order. But we'll talk about Imani for a second. Imani, faith. That's really important because we are very, very spiritual people. But like colonized people, everything under the system of the colonized or the colonizer is used to oppress colonized people. So when you look at a lot of our ways and means of spirituality, whether that's religion or whatever it is, it tends to be more divisive than unifying, because you will have people, Christians fight Muslims, fighting people who in African spirituality, or, which go back to principle number 1, unity. We let everything, divide us. But in Kwanzaa, when they talk about faith and money, they ain't even talking about religion. They're not talking about religion. It's talking about a belief in your struggle, a belief in your people, a belief in your leadership, and a belief in the righteousness of our victory. And I'm like, damn, that's practical. It does not feed into the things that divide us. So within Kwanzaa, by it not even being a religious holiday, you can be a Christian. You can celebrate Kwanzaa. It does not conflict or contradict with your religion. You can be a Muslim. You can celebrate Kwanzaa. You can be a Hebrew Israelite. You can celebrate Kwanzaa. Does not matter what you believe. You can believe in nothing at all. You can celebrate Kwanzaa. That's why I say it's really important for us to like push. We need to do something big for Kwanzaa this year. We need to do something big for Kwanzaa this year. Nava and all of us need to do something big for Kwanzaa this year. Definitely. Let me see. It says, would shake the foundation of this country. Yes, sir. Let me see, brother. Abdul. We have hijacked the European religions in their holidays. Yeah, but I wouldn't say we hijacked it. I would say they forced it upon us and we have embraced it. But I guess it's real easy to embrace something that you've been beat in the head with for over 400 years. So, you know, especially when you're told from an early age, this is the truth. This is what you have to believe. And if you don't believe, you're going to burn in fire pits of hell forever and ever and ever. So you better believe it. You know, that's more like psychological warfare. Madam President, Samaat, free the land, free the land, free the land to you. Glad to see you checking in. Read some more of these comments. We must promote our own creativity and create holidays and days of remembrance that remind us of our historical greatness and accomplishments. Free the land. Damn right, Stephen Biko. We do, because one thing that has happened when being under this system of white supremacy and oppression is that, I mean, from the jump start, when they jump started this chattel slavery thing, they got rid of our history, our language, our nationality, our belief system, everything that connected us with our motherland, with who we are. They got rid of it, made it illegal for us to even know it. And that's crazy. Knowledge was illegal. Specific information was illegal. So that should tell you some Black people, if the oppressor made it illegal for you to know certain things, then these are definitely the things that we need to know. And, you know, it always just go back to this whole Kyrie Irving thing. Because all he really was doing was trying to spread some information that they have been trying to hide from us. And you saw what happened to him. Like, hold on, wait a minute. You're trying to learn some Black history? Well, you know, because this is the truth. This is the reality. Especially for like the last 400 or 500 years, Black history is intertwined with oppression, exploitation, and brutality. It is filled with that. And if you're gonna really study Black history, you can't get away from exposing the individuals who have committed the oppression, the exploitation, and the brutality on us. But certain individuals who have committed all of those atrocities, they don't want to be exposed. They don't want to be exposed at all, which means telling our history becomes problematic. So just think of the relationship that we are in, Black people, New African people, melanated people. We're in a situation where we get crucified just trying to tell our history. A history in which they lied about, a history in which they stole from us. But so, I say all that saying, I agree with you, Stephen Biko. You are absolutely correct. Let me see. Mistake fan, 7 principles of Kwanzaa. Ujima, Kujichakalea, Ujima. You missed one. It's Ujama. Well, you got it out of place too. Ujama comes right after Ujima. Nia Kuumba Imani. So yeah. So you're right. But yeah, Ujima comes right after Ujima. That's principle number 4 for cooperative economics. Let me see. For a second, I thought you had some information that I was left out of. Y'all having these inside conversations. You ain't got to include me. That's okay. Yeah. Man, y'all been blowing up. I'm glad y'all having such a active conversation and all that good stuff. It's time just flowing. It's already been an hour into the program, and just been flowing. Actually, didn't even have anything in particular that I wanted to talk about. I just kind of started talking, but it is a couple of things I will mention. I talk about the Kyrie Irving thing a lot. Not necessarily because I'm just such a big fan of Kyrie Irving. I think he's cool. I like the fact that he's opening his consciousness, and he uses his platform to try to spread information. I do like that. I appreciate that, and I hope the other athletes who are in these positions can do something similar. But it's not like I'm a worshiper of Kyrie Irving, think he a messiah or anything like that, But I do talk about the Kyrie Irving situation a lot because one, it's a topic that captures a lot of people's attention. And it's important that, that these topics that people are really interested in, we get them and maybe we can hold their attention with it and we give them a perspective that is not being given to them by the mainstream media. It's just a political tactic. So yeah, that's why I talk about Kyrie a lot, not because I'm just so fascinated with him or anything like that. But with that, when Kyrie Irving was first interviewed, one of his first interviews about what he posted and the people calling him anti-Semitic, one thing he said, he was like, where were y'all when I found out 300 million of my ancestors were buried here in America and about all the oppression that my people went through? Like, where were you when I found out all of this? And basically he was saying, I'm just trying to spread the truth about what has happened to my people. And he said something specific. He said, keep that same energy when other people are being offended. I think I said this earlier, but I bring that up because Thursday past Thanksgiving, we like to look at football. That's a big thing. That's a big part of the tradition. Looking at the football game and America's team, the Dallas Cowboys, they played Thursday. I think they played the Giants or something. I'm not a big football fan. It's cool. I look at it, but I'm not a big fanatic. I don't really know who really good this year or not. But the Cowboys, they played. But the owner of the football team is a guy by the name of Jerry Jones. Now, just recently, there's a photograph that emerged from 1957 of the Dallas Cowboy owner at this protest. Hey, y'all didn't know Jerry Jones was an activist. Yeah, he was at a protest. Now, this was 1957, and what was going on was in Little Rock, Arkansas, there were some black children who were trying to integrate this school. And they were trying to go into school. And there was a group of white young people who were blocking the entrance. And you can't get out here. They're like, yeah, go home, nigger, that type of thing. And there was a photograph that emerged that showed Jerry Jones in this photograph with these white children who teenagers, whatever you want to call them, who blocking the entrance of a school to prevent black people from going to school. A straight out white supremacist action. Now, you know, I think this could be considered to be offensive to some people. You know what I'm saying? Being that the owner of this football team is seen in a photograph committing white supremacist actions, involved in white supremacist activity, when you say so. So, you know, with the words of Kyrie Irving, keep that same energy. Even though I ain't heard no sports people talk about it. Ain't nobody said really much of anything about this type of thing. But I mean, what we do if we keep that same energy, you know? Maybe we should do Jerry Jones like they did Kyrie. Maybe we should, you know, let's say, like, suspend him or something. If you can suspend the owner, I don't even know how that works, but, you know, take him off of his job indefinitely, like they did Kyrie. Let's say we force him to have sensitivity training like they, you know, did Kyrie. I tried to do. I don't know if he did it or not, but yeah, force him to have sensitivity training. Force him to meet with Louis Farrakhan and Dr. Umar Johnson. Let's have that. Let them lecture them. You know, I would say to me and Atiba, some other our comrades, but we ain't famous enough, so they'll do. Force them to come back and display that he's learned his lesson. Force him to pay the New African Independence Movement $500,000. If we really serious about keeping that same energy going when people do things that offend other people, other groups, or does that only apply to when you offend people who are in power? You know, that whole thing with Kyrie and Jewish people, it really just reinforced and proved that what, like Kanye West was actually saying about the Jewish people run these industries. It just really proved it. They were absolutely right. Really proved it was absolutely right. Let me see. Asilda said, your words are powerful, brother. Got the hairs on my back, on the back of my neck standing up. Bless up, brother. Free the land. Best comment I heard all day. I'm so vain, y'all. But no, I appreciate that. I'm not sure what I said that was so powerful, but, you know, I'm just speaking, you know, truth as I know it. And that's all, you know, that's just how I see it and how I've been taught and just a perspective. And so, you know, I appreciate that. I'm glad that somebody is able to get something from my words, you know. See what we talking about. Comrade Atiba, like Wells Fargo Teddy sitting right up next to me, family. Huh? He's sending much love and respect. Wells Fargo Teddy. I'm not sure I understand. Is that a person? Anyway, Wells Fargo Teddy. If that's a person and you're sitting right up to next to Atiba, what's up, comrade? Respect and love to you, if I'm reading that correctly. Whenever a person didn't agree with them, they will call them an agent. You see. You see, the biggest point is we believe in the righteousness of our struggle. Damn right, and that was Imani. I believe in the righteousness of our struggle. That is so correct. So correct. Okay, so I guess around this time I was talking about Nguzo Saba. And I see my comrade Black Cloud from Miami TV in there in the house. How you doing, Black Cloud? Good to hear from you, brother. Good to hear from you. That's a good brother, Black Cloud. I actually had an opportunity to meet him at Nation Day, which we will be celebrating March 31st through April 2nd in South Carolina, Charlotte, South Carolina. So make sure y'all join us. Good brothers, a lot of good people, brothers and sisters, comrades down there that we meet in Nation Day. It's really an opportunity because like a lot of times during the year, we, converse and we meet up through these broadcasts. So yeah, appreciate you tuning in, comrade. And Stephen Biggo, this is a broadcast that everyone in the New African community should be tuned into. Thank you, brother. That's what I've been saying all the time. All of us New African families, really, we need to all, get together. It ain't got to be my broadcast. You need to be some broadcast. You need to be united. I just said, hey, I got the ability to start some broadcasts. Why not do it? So yeah, y'all have some great conversation, man. Thank y'all. Just Joe, who is it? I don't think I know you, Just Joe. But much respect to him for standing for something. No doubt. Not sure exactly what you was talking about, but welcome to the program. Glad you are here with us. The way we do it, man, it's like a big old family, y'all. We just get together and we converse and we talk and communicate between each other and have just a good old-fashioned time. And it's fun, man, and I've been having a good time, even though it be by myself and I'm in this studio alone. I do this show actually right after I do a radio broadcast. And I ain't even gonna lie, I was worried today because doing the radio show, man, my energy level was low. I was like, I needed water. I had to go to the bathroom in the middle of the show. It was crazy. But as soon as I did this show and all my people showed up big time for me and we started conversing, having these back and forth, I was like, I feel all right. My energy level went up, and hopefully, conversations in which we've been having have been boring and we've been able to, gain something. We're able to build and grow because, like I always say with Brother Tiba, we have the best audience, the most informed, politically aware audience in the land. I mean, we learn as much from you, probably much more from you than we, give to you. Let me see. Melly Queen, thank you for for joining us, family. You are tuned into the New African Broadcast Association. That's what that NABA stand for, New African Broadcast Association. Visit our platforms on Facebook and our NABA radio station. If you would like to donate to our endeavors on building a New African platform for our views and narratives, we welcome all love donations to $ NABA, NABA radio. That's NABA, NABA in all caps and radio in small. $ NABA radio. Thank you all for your continued love and support. Free the land. Definitely. I see my brother John Ricky Starks back in the house. How you doing, John Starks? I had an opportunity to have a conversation with brother John Starks. This is a good brother right there. Okay, all right, y'all conducting business and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, definitely. Man, what in the world y'all talking about? You talking about some martial arts training, comrade Atiba? Hold on. Anyway, we moving on up to about an hour and a half. So I could do the whole doggone show talking about the doggone comments. Y'all don't hit me up, dog. I do appreciate that. I appreciate that. Make sure y'all check out our other shows, our other episodes. And I know y'all probably talked about this, man, like 30 minutes ago. I'm just catching up. But check out all of our broadcasts. Sundays at what time we start? About 12:30. We start. We do the the Voices of New Africa. That's today. Usually it's not me by myself, but I don't know. I kind of enjoy it when it's just me and you. I ain't got to worry about two other people sharing the mic with. I can just talk to y'all. It's kind of fun, y'all. But yeah, usually we have our elder grandmaster teacher for Dolly. Man, that brother got so much knowledge. He like a walking encyclopedia. Man, I learned a whole lot. When doing the show, like after I can't wait to get home just so I can look up some of the things that he talked about and do some research. So that's one of my teachers, one of our teachers, I should say. Yeah, so every Sunday at 12:30, we do the Voices of New Africa. And on Mondays, we have at 1 o'clock ish. Sometimes things happen and we got to change the time up. But usually around 1 o'clock, we do the New African Perspective. Now that's myself, Sama Ott, which is the president of the Voices of the New African PGRNA. I'm sorry, my mind going. Republic of New Africa. She had Madam President Sama Ott and Mama Ayo Jelly. And we have great conversation. We talk about a lot. This is probably our most structured show because we have different segments. We have our cadre corner where Madam Vice President break down a study material, a particular book or something, and kind of gives a synopsis of it and recommends it and show you where you can come get it. We talk about current events. We've been going over all of the principles of the New African Creed, and I think tomorrow we're gonna be at number 7, I believe, number 7 or number 8. That New African Creed, that joint right there, hard, y'all. That's a hard document. That's something, man. We got the key. The keys are already there. The keys are already there. We just got to pick them up, put them in the door, and unlock it. And our liberation is there. We implement the Nguzo Saba, implement the creed, and all of the other, jewels that have been left by our ancestors. All we got to do is pick up the blueprint and build the building. It's already there for us, y'all. We just got to do the work. But that's tomorrow, 1 o'clock. And then on Tuesdays, the Foundation of the Nation, basically Sama Ott and Mama Ayo, they got together and said, hey, we need to get rid of the prophecy for a day because, we got some stuff that these queens need to talk about and he cramping our style. And I'm glad they did that because they have this wonderful show called Foundation of the Nation. And they talk about a whole lot of things that we really need to know, really get into how we can try to break the trauma and all of these little things that are preventing us from working together, from building together, from being successful or having successful organizations. They really get deep into those type of things. That's Tuesday. And then Thursday, we got the crazy show, y'all. It's a crazy show called Conversation Between Comrades. And it's with my comrade Atiba. And it's whatever. Man, we talk about everything. Everything. Probably cuss a little too much on that show. And, I was looking at the last one, I was like, dang, I cuss a whole lot on that show. I'm probably going to try to clean it up a little bit, maybe. And then Friday, Melly Queen. She got a fantastic show called The Truth in Power Corner with Melly Queen, also known as Melly Terry. And I want everybody to, give a big ashe to Melly for breaking out of Facebook prison. She's a habitual offender, career Facebook criminal. But she has a fantastic show on Friday. It's actually a blog talk show. She has great guests. You can meet a lot of the leadership in the PGRNA. And, we check in, there's no telling who you're going to see. You know what I'm saying? Because I'll get on her show and I'll be going off. You know what I'm saying? I like getting on her show because it's like the only show that I'm not really running. Well, that and, Foundation of the Nation. But most of the shows that I'm on, I'm actually the producer of the show also. So I'm worried about other things. But when I get on her show, she doing it. I just can talk. And that's like really, really, really fun. Really fun. Oh, dang, you up there talking about the cowboy on. So I'm way behind. I'm way behind. Ain't no way I'm going to be able to get through all these comments, But I do appreciate everybody for joining me, for putting up with me just, saying whatever coming to my mind. You know, hopefully I wasn't talking too crazy, too stupid. But I mean, it's amazing. You know, I mean, I'm doing some self-reflection now. You know, being the fact that I've been here talking to my people for an hour and a half now, exactly an hour and a half now. I grew up as a really shy, insecure dude who did not talk at all. Like literally, the people who know me from my home, they see me, they be like, you know how to talk, you know? Yeah, I was quiet, I was shy, I was insecure. It took me gaining some knowledge of self, to learning about myself, to learning about my history. Because I don't know if y'all noticed, I'm real dark skinned, and I grew up in Mississippi in the 80s. And during that time period, it really wasn't all that cool to be dark skinned. And wasn't nobody talking about no sexy chocolate. Nope. So, you know, I had this color complex, this black inferiority complex, and I was just really shy. You know, I had no idea anybody would ever be interested in anything I said. But I gained some knowledge of self. I learned about my history. I learned about my culture. And those things gave me something that I actually wanted to talk about. It made me realize that I can talk. I do have a voice. I do have something worthy to say. I have something that is needed to be said. And I gravitated toward other people who are saying similar things. And that's just kind of how, you know, I came to this journey right here. And no, Mama Ayo, I'm not joking at all. This is the truth. Everything I'm saying right now, 100% true. 100% true. Yep. You know, the guy that grew up, you know, when I was a child, I was nothing like this. You would never say, oh, I think Brother Prophecy is going to be talking to people for an hour straight, just him and the people. You would never see that. You would never think of that. You know, I see some of my old classmates, they'd be like, man, you were so shy in school. You never said anything. I never knew you talk. But hey, so think about just imagine. This is what learning my history and gaining some knowledge of self did for me. You know. So yeah. But like I said, I thank everybody for joining us today. And make sure y'all join all of our broadcasts, and, you know, not only just our broadcasts.
Study the writing, speeches.
I'm sorry, I ain't trying to do that. I'm hitting stuff. But yeah, like I said, join all of our broadcasts all through the weeks and keep your ear open, because ultimately, it's not really just about doing podcasts. Nava is not just about doing podcasts. This is not what that's about. That's not the purpose of it. That's not the goal of it. I mean, part of the goal, part of the mission is to educate people, to enlighten people, to spread our messages and putting the narratives in its proper perspective. That's part of it. Other part of it is creating action, creating programs, creating institutions, doing the work. So we don't want to just talk about it. We want to be about it. We want to be about that work. We want to be about that action. And we want to create a better reality, create a better world. We don't want to talk about an imaginary utopian world that one day we exist. We want to actively work to bring about that work. And collectively, we can do it. Individually, it's going to be real hard, y'all. It's hard to do things individually. But collectively, we can move mountains, y'all. One finger, not very strong, but when you put all those fingers together, ball them up into a fist, and you can knock somebody's ass out. So let's knock out this system of oppression together, y'all. I'm Prophecy. I'm finna get up out of here. I love y'all. It's been so fun, and I'm gonna talk to all y'all later. But for now, free the land, free the land. Free the land.
And when you bring it in, you brought it in for the purpose of weakening the revolutionary tide of the people.
It must not be a capitalist system, but we don't want to exploit anybody. We don't want to be exploited, and we don't want to exploit anybody.
Ain't nobody gonna do it for us There's nobody outside of yourself, nobody outside of ourselves that's going to do this work for us. We have to put in that real work.
Because the better you are at exploiting people, the more successful you are within capitalism.
We want to say salute to all our political prisoners, our POWs, our elder comrades in exile.
The satisfaction we need as a people only comes through liberation and independence.
Because we're not just building for self, we're building for the family, because the family is broken. We're building for the community is broken. The nation is broken, the race is under attack. We're in a state of emergency.